Season 3 is already surrounded by intense speculation, and according to early leaks and fan discussions, the next chapter could begin right after the explosive consequences of Season 2. The power struggle in the oil business is expected to grow even more dangerous. For years, the land has been the ultimate prize, and every powerful figure in the story knows that whoever controls the land controls the future. But now, the competition is becoming more brutal than ever. Rumors suggest that new investors and rival companies will enter the picture, bringing massive money, ruthless strategies, and hidden agendas. This means the characters we have been following may suddenly find themselves fighting enemies they never expected. What makes things even more intense is that some of these enemies might not come from outside. In fact, Season 3 could focus heavily on betrayal from within. One of the most talked about spoilers hints that trust between key characters will begin to collapse. In previous seasons, alliances were already fragile, but now those relationships might completely break apart. Some insiders claim that secret deals will be made behind closed doors, and these deals could shift the balance of power overnight. Imagine a situation where someone you trusted suddenly switches sides for profit or survival. That kind of twist could send shockwaves through the entire story. The oil industry in this world has always been ruthless, but Season 3 might show just how far people are willing to go when billions of dollars are at stake. Another interesting rumor focuses on the pressure building around the leadership of the operation. Running such a massive oil business was never easy, but now the responsibility could become overwhelming. Government pressure, environmental concerns, corporate rivals, and internal conflicts may all hit at the same time. This could force the main decision makers to take risks they would normally avoid. Some of those risks might lead to huge rewards, while others could lead to catastrophic losses. The tension of these decisions is expected to drive much of the drama in the upcoming season. Every choice could change someone's life forever. There are also whispers that Season 3 might explore the personal lives of the characters much more deeply. The oil fields are not just a workplace, they affect families, friendships, and entire communities. When business decisions turn dangerous, those consequences often reach far beyond the boardroom. Some characters may struggle to balance loyalty to their family with loyalty to the company. Others might discover that the price of success is higher than they ever imagined. This emotional conflict could add a powerful layer to the story, making the drama feel even more real and intense. At the same time, fans are expecting the scale of the story to grow bigger than ever before. New locations, larger operations, and massive deals are all rumored to be part of the upcoming season. If these leaks are true, Season 3 might show the oil industry expanding into new territories, creating opportunities, but also new dangers. Expanding into unfamiliar areas often means dealing with powerful local players who do not like outsiders taking control. That situation alone could spark major confrontations that push the characters into risky territory. And then there is the mystery that fans cannot stop talking about. Several online reports suggest that a shocking secret from the past might finally be revealed. This secret could connect multiple trials. As the story moves deeper into Season 3, the tension surrounding the oil empire is expected to grow even more dangerous. The competition for control of the land will likely turn into a full-scale battle, not just between companies, but also between individuals who once trusted each other. Rumors suggest that the industry itself may enter a period of instability, where prices, politics, and powerful corporations begin clashing at the same time. When so much money and influence are involved, even a small mistake can trigger a massive chain reaction. This unstable environment could push every major character into situations where they must decide whether to protect their power or protect the people they care about. One of the biggest talking points among fans is the possibility that a powerful new rival could emerge in Season 3. This rival may not just be another oil company, but someone with deeper resources, stronger political connections, and a long-term plan to dominate the entire region. If the leaks are accurate, this new player could slowly start buying land, forming partnerships, and weakening existing alliances. At first, the threat might not seem obvious, but as the story unfolds, it could become clear that this mysterious force has been planning their move for a very long time. By the time the main characters realize what is happening, the situation might already be spiraling out of control. Another possible storyline revolves around internal power struggles. Running a massive operation requires strong leadership, but when profits and power are on the line, leadership itself can become a battlefield. Some members of the organization might begin questioning the decisions being made at the top. Others may feel that they deserve more control or a bigger share of the success. These disagreements could slowly grow into serious conflicts, creating cracks within the organization. Once those cracks appear, outside rivals will almost certainly try to exploit them. This, at the same time, season, the 3rd of May, show how the oil business affects entire communities. The land is not just a business asset. It is home to people who have lived there for generations. If large corporations begin pushing for more drilling and expansion, local communities might start resisting. Protests, legal battles, and political pressure could become major obstacles for the characters trying to maintain control of their operations. These challenges would force them to think beyond simple profit and consider the broader consequences of their actions. But in a world driven by money and power, not everyone will be willing to slow down or compromise. Another layer of suspense could come from the growing personal risks faced by the characters. As the stakes increase, danger might move beyond business deals and enter more personal territory. Some characters could become targets because of the influence they hold, while others might find themselves caught in situations where loyalty is tested in extreme ways. Friendships that once seemed unbreakable may suddenly become uncertain. People who once stood side by side could end up on opposite sides of the conflict. This emotional tension is what could make Season 3 feel even more intense than anything that came before. There are also hints that secrets buried in earlier seasons might begin resurfacing. In a world where powerful people constantly manipulate deals and information, the past rarely stays hidden forever. A forgotten agreement, a hidden betrayal, or a dangerous truth could suddenly come back into the spotlight. When that happens, the consequences could be explosive. Characters who believed they had moved on from old mistakes might discover that those mistakes are about to destroy everything they built. And the most shocking part is that some of these revelations may come from the people closest to them. As the pressure continues building, the battle for dominance in the oil fields could reach a turning point. Future, some will choose loyalty, others will choose ambition, and a few may choose survival at any cost. Those decisions will shape the alliances and rivalries that drive the rest of the season. By the time the story approaches its most critical moments, it may become clear that the fight for power is no longer just about land or money. It is about legacy, reputation, and the question of who truly deserves to control the empire. And if the rumors are even partly true, the events building in Season 3 might lead to one massive confrontation that changes everything. Because when powerful players compete for control of something this valuable, there is only one guarantee: not everyone will walk away with what they wanted. As Season 3 moves towards its most critical moments, the battle for control of the land could reach a level no one expected. The oil industry in this story has always been intense, but now the pressure may become almost impossible to handle. Every decision will carry massive consequences, and every move could trigger another unexpected reaction. By this stage of the season, the characters might realize that the fight is no longer just about business deals or corporate strategies. It has become a personal war where reputations, families, and entire futures are at risk. One of the most exciting rumors surrounding Season 3 is the possibility of a huge turning point in the balance of power. For a long time, certain individuals have dominated the oil fields, controlling the flow of money and influence. But leaks suggest that this control may finally start slipping away. New competitors, unexpected alliances, and hidden betrayals could slowly dismantle the system that once seemed unbreakable. When power begins shifting like this, the results are often unpredictable. Someone who was once considered unstoppable might suddenly find themselves surrounded by enemies, while another character who seemed powerless could rise to a position of surprising strength. Past. Over the previous seasons, many risky decisions were made in order to protect the empire and expand its reach. Some of those choices might have been necessary at the time, but they also created enemies and unresolved problems. Season 3 could bring those problems back into the spotlight. Old rivals might return with new plans for revenge, legal troubles could begin threatening the business, and secrets that were carefully hidden might finally be exposed. When the past starts colliding with the present like this, the pressure on every character will increase dramatically. The emotional side of the story may also reach its most powerful point during this part of the season. As the struggle for control intensifies, personal relationships could face their greatest tests. Trust might become extremely rare, and even the closest allies may begin questioning each other's motives. Some characters could feel trapped between loyalty and ambition, forced to decide whether protecting their loved ones is more important than protecting their power. Others might become so focused on winning the battle that they risk losing everything that once mattered to them. These emotional conflicts could push characters into decisions that shock both their allies and their enemies. There is also growing speculation that the final episodes of Season 3 might deliver one of the biggest twists in the entire series. While details remain unclear, some fans believe a shocking revelation or unexpected betrayal could completely change the direction of the story. A hidden partnership might come to light, or a character who seemed loyal all along could reveal their true intentions. If that kind of twist happens, it could reshape the entire power structure of the oil empire. The moment the truth is revealed, alliances could collapse instantly, forcing everyone involved to react quickly before everything falls apart. Another possibility being discussed is that the conflict over the land may expire. As speculation about the next chapter continues to grow, many fans believe that the story in Season 3 might actually be building toward an even bigger future for the series. The conflict over land, power, and influence may not end quickly. Instead, the events of the season could set the stage for an even larger battle that stretches far beyond what viewers have seen so far. If the leaks and rumors are even partly true, the final part of the season may feel like the calm before an even greater storm. Characters will think they are solving problems, but in reality, they might only be creating new ones that will shape the future of the entire empire. One major possibility being discussed is the idea that the oil business itself could begin transforming. Markets change, technology evolves, and political pressure continues growing around the energy industry. Season 3 might explore how these global shifts start affecting the characters and their operations. Decisions that once seemed simple could suddenly become complicated by new regulations, environmental challenges, and political interference. Powerful leaders who once relied only on profit and expansion may now be forced to think about survival in a completely different way. This kind of shift could make the competition even more intense because everyone will be fighting to secure their position before the industry changes forward. At the same time, personal ambition could reach its highest level yet. When people spend years building an empire, they rarely walk away easily. Some characters may become more determined than ever to protect their legacy. Others might see the growing chaos as the perfect opportunity to take control for themselves. This ambition could create surprising partnerships between people who were once rivals. In a world driven by power, former enemies sometimes become temporary allies when their interests align. But these alliances are rarely stable. The moment one side sees a better opportunity, low. At the same time, Season the 3rd of May show how the oil business affects entire communities. The land is not just a business asset. It is home to people who have lived there for generations. If large corporations begin pushing for more drilling and expansion, local communities might start resisting. Protests, legal battles, and political pressure could become major obstacles for the characters trying to maintain control of their operations. These challenges would force them to think beyond simple profit and consider the broader consequences of their actions. But in a world driven by money and power, not everyone will be willing to slow down or compromise. Another layer of suspense could come from the growing personal risks faced by the characters. As the stakes increase, danger might move beyond business deals and enter more personal territory. Some characters could become targets because of the influence they hold, while others might find themselves caught in situations where loyalty is tested in extreme ways. Friendships that once seemed unbreakable may suddenly become uncertain. People who once stood side by side could end up on opposite sides of the conflict. This emotional tension is what could make season 3 feel even more intense than anything that came before. There are also hints that secrets buried in earlier seasons might begin resurfacing. In a world where powerful people constantly manipulate deals and information, the past rarely stays hidden forever. A forgotten agreement, a hidden betrayal, or a dangerous truth could suddenly come back into the spotlight.